Canada's plan to shop for used Australian fighter jets rather than buy new Boeing Super Hornets may backfire, according to defense experts, because the U.S. government will ultimately have a say on whether a deal proceeds. Even though the FA-18 Hornets are nearly 3 decades old, require regular corrosion maintenance and are nearing obsolescence, their proposed resale would still require Washington's approval because they are advanced warplanes, originally manufactured in the U.S., a former Royal Australian Air Force officer told CBC News. "I imagine all of it is going for a fair bargain price," said Peter Layton, a fellow at Griffith University in southeast Queensland, Australia, who was a Reserve Force Group captain. "Few customers exist for Australia's used warplanes, and selling to Canada would be an easier sale than most, because the Pentagon would not require all sensitive technology to be stripped out of the aircraft." But in the context of Canada's current tit-for-tat aerospace trade dispute with the U.S., another defense expert said no one should expect the Trump administration to do Canada any favors in light of the heated rhetoric surrounding Boeing. "There's a lot of things they could do just within the executive authority to simply be unhelpful," said Dave Perry, an analyst at the Canadian Global Affairs Institute. "I don't know how far they can go, but if the government of the United States did want the aircraft to be sold, it would be very difficult to get them." Australia's Defence Materiel Group produced a scathing report in 2012 noting that the country's FA-18s were rapidly running out of airframe life and required bigger and bigger slices of the maintenance budget. The incidence of discovery of airframe corrosion in the Hornet fleet is increasing, and the annual cost of corrosion-related repairs has increased significantly, said the report, which Layton said was considered too critical by the defense establishment. The Trudeau government has been using the threat of buying used FA-18s from Australia as a bargaining chip in its wider trade dispute with Washington. On the eve of Prime Minister Justin Trudeau's meeting with U.S. President Donald Trump last week, Public Services and Procurement revealed the Liberal government had sent a letter to Australia expressing interest in buying some of its old fighters. The department had been talking with Chicago-based Boeing about buying 18 new Super Hornets, but those negotiations were suspended after the giant U.S. aircraft maker filed a trade complaint against Bombardier over passenger jet sales. The U.S. Commerce Department intends to impose nearly 300% tariff and anti-dumping duties on the Montreal-based manufacturer's C-Series jet. Trudeau said Canada no longer has an intention of doing business with Boeing. The used Australian jets are approximately the same age and configuration as Canada's CF-18s, which the Liberals insist must be supplemented if the Air Force is to meet its NORAD and NATO commitments at the same time. How well those Australian jets would solve that problem is an open question.